Hi, my fellow broke aristocrats. It's me, Dr. Whimsy, and today I'm at a discount store by my house. It's on Sunset and Western, called Food for Less. And one of the reasons why I love Food for Less is because, as you can see, they've got the organic fruits and vegetables. But of course, I do what I always do. I compare it to other places. There have been some real markdowns at Whole Foods, if you want to check out Whole Foods, since the buyout from Amazon. So I've been getting some great reviews from friends who are shopping for organic produce over at Whole Foods, saying that they found deals as much as $1 for a bushel of kale. But again, be careful, because the last time I was there, I noticed that yes, a bushel of kale is cheaper at Whole Foods. It's $1, but the bushel that used to be this big is now this big. And this is one of the things I want to warn people about. They will give you a discount because they're actually creating smaller containers. And that's one of the things we're going to be talking about today. Smaller containers and smaller portions. So just make sure that the deal isn't because we're now getting less. So if you can look at weight, that's great. Or look at the size of a bushel or something, that's also a great value. We're going to go around the store here and we're going to check out what Food for Less has to offer us broke aristocrats. And what I'm seeing at Food for Less is that if you go to the produce section of any of these discount stores, what I'm starting to see is that they're actually cheaper than the 99-cent store. The 99-cent store, it's 99 cents a pound. Yes, it is. But look, 69 cents a pound here at Food for Less. And probably you might even, if you're in the LA area, you might be able to get it even cheaper than that at John's Market. Not all whole wheat is equal. Not all whole wheat is equal. People will buy the cheaper whole wheat, but then if you look at the ingredients, you'll see all kinds of nasty things in it. Take the time to start buying. First off, check the label. Make sure you're not looking at something that is unhealthy for you. 100% whole wheat bread marked down $2.49. Obviously, if you're getting the cheaper, poorer quality at the 99-cent store, it's not going to be all that great. You know, you get the fluffy, it's basically like what we kids grew up on, Wonder Bread, and it's brown, but it's not particularly nutritious. You really have to check the labels. This label has some stuff in it I'm not too happy with, like ammonia sulfate, ammonia to kill any microbes, and eggs that are basically, if there are eggs or any kind of parasites in the flour, you can put some things that have that can deter that. I imagine that's what the ammonia is in there for. This has some molasses in it and sugar as well. So again, make sure to check the labels. Just because it's whole wheat doesn't make it healthy. This one is a great bread. This is my favorite bread of all time, and in fact I actually have met this person, Dave. Dave's Killer Bread. This stuff is awesome. It tastes great. He's a nice man, actually. He's a recovering alcoholic, drug addict, and he spent time in prison. And while he was in prison, he did a lot of work on himself, and he decided he wanted to be a banker. And so a baker, excuse me. And so he did just that. He got out of prison, cleaned up his life, and became an amazing baker, and boy has he become successful. But this is an organic whole wheat flour, all organic, and he really goes the extra mile. But look at the price. Expensive, right? This is one of those cases where you get what you pay for. Yeah, you're paying an extra couple bucks if you can afford to do so, but you're not eating ammonia, you're not eating sugar. Not good. So do the best you can on the income you have. All right. All right, here is the bulk items at Food for Less. As you can see, you're getting the same price as you would at the 99-cent store, only you're getting it in bulk. 99 cents for beans, But here you get 59 cents. That's a really good deal, I think, for white rice. But of course, you know us broke aristocrats, we would rather you do brown rice. Here are some soybeans, $1.29. Again, I think you're actually, for the most part, going to be getting a better deal at the 99-cent store from what I see here, because you're actually paying a little bit more here than you would at the 99-cent store. Fairly good prices on the seafood. If you're willing to gut a fish, you can save a little money. I used to do that to save money. But I think these prices overall, I think they're really good. Now that goes into the conversation, is farmed fish healthy? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. I think you're going to be a little bit better off if you're buying farmed fish, if it's a fish that comes from clean water versus an ocean fish. If it comes from sweet water versus an ocean water or salt water, the farming is a little bit better to handle, quite frankly. It's a little bit easier for them to produce farmed fish in fresh water than salt water. Salmon kind of scares me, to be quite honest with you. Yeah, we can produce farmed salmon, but questionable whether it's healthy. I think you can get some good meat deals here. Obviously, as at Broke Aristocrats, we encourage you to be mostly plant-based if you're not able to be 100% plant-based. If you do love your meat, then my suggestion is to chop it up real thin and do a stir fry or do some other dish where meat is added, but it's always the condiment and never the main course. This is something that I wanted to show my fellow Broke Aristocrats. I really like this peanut butter. This is Laura Scudder's. It's fairly healthy, $2.99, so you're going to be paying $2 extra, but this is more peanut butter than was available at the 99-cent store. The 99-cent store only gave us half a container, and it was loaded with all kinds of things that we don't like to eat. We don't encourage people to do sugar, corn syrup, hydrogenated oil, or anything like that. This is pretty much peanuts and salt. $2.99. Now, I want to talk a little bit about how prices have stayed stagnant, but you're buying the same thing year after year after year. One of the ways that prices stay stagnant is that they have started to hollow out containers. So you really want to make sure when you do purchase something, you're not looking at a hollowed out container. Do you have a flat container or do you have a hollowed out container? Because that hollowing out, you can lose as much as an ounce of product. Check the back to make sure you're not being ripped off. Here's some nice organic for $3.49. It's slightly hollowed out on the bottom, so they're scooping out part of what you would be paying for in order to get that price. Here they're saying that this is 16 ounces with a hollowed out bottom. Here, check the price, 30.6 per ounce for this stuff. And checking the price here, $21.80. That's a better deal than that one. But look at the old-fashioned 18.7. So I'm still getting a better deal. And look, a flat bottom. Here's Skippy's loaded with chemicals. And we do not have a flat bottom. It's concave. They're ripping you off, and it's not a good product. Here's another thing to be mindful of. The size of the packaging, the thickness. Look how thin packages have become. So it may take up the same amount of space when you look at it front on, but when you go to the side, look how much the package has thinned. This is another way that the consumer is ripped off. So start looking for that. This is the Kellogg's Company, $3.79, 30.6 cents per ounce. Compare it to a generic, and also always make sure, here even the Kroger's brand, I'm disappointed, but it's extremely thin. We're only getting an 11.2 ounce box, and That's just not the same size box we used to have a couple of years ago, and yet, you know, the prices are going up. Of course, nothing makes me happier than to get broke aristocrats off instant breakfast cereal. So if you're infuriated and pissed off that the brands you love are ripping you off, then maybe you can join my group and start buying things in bulk, in season, healthful and nutritious, and stuff that's less processed. You don't want to be giving that to your kids. You love your children, don't you? At the 99-cent store, I had a bag of steel oats for 99 cents. Look at the steel oats here from Quaker, $4.99 or 16.6 per ounce. This is almost 2 pounds. It's almost 2 pounds, so we'll go ahead and divide that by half, and we still see that the generic steel cut oats from the 99-cent store is half the price, so that's pretty good. If you do decide to buy meat and you can't afford organic, that's okay. Make sure to remove the skin and wash the meat really, really well. You don't need to be getting sick. Bacteria is a big problem when we're preparing meat. We don't want to be exposed to anything that might make us sick, but also there are a ton, there's fat in the meat that we don't need. And there's also certain chemicals possibly that have been stored in the fat from the animal being injected with antibiotics possibly, etc. If you just want to be on the safe side and you're concerned about heart health, make sure to remove the skin of the chicken before preparing it. I certainly would advise that. If you're trying to save money, check the prices again. It may be cheaper to buy a whole chicken and cut it up yourself than to buy one that's been cut up, has been pre-cut up. Sometimes something as simple as just buying the chicken whole versus in pieces can be a savings. Here we have Starbucks coffee for $9.79, but to be quite honest with you, the cheapest coffee I have found is at Gelson's in West Hollywood. Gelson's is a gourmet kind of store. It's a little bit pricey, but I can get Pete's sometimes for $7, $6.99, $7.99. I can get Pete's, and Starbucks is on sale there sometimes for $6.99. The best deals I've gotten for good quality coffee has actually been Gelson's. That surprises me. $9.79. Quite frankly, that's too steep for me, and I think I can get a better deal somewhere else. Here is the Kroger brand organic for $6.49. That's about the price you would pay for organic coffee if you were buying it at Trader Joe's. If it's selling as organic, you want to make sure it's not the Robusta bean. Arabica has a better flavor, and it's lower in caffeine if you're worried about getting too much caffeine in. Definitely go with the Arabica bean. And this looks really good. I'm just reading this, and yes, it is 100% organic Arabica bean. So guess which coffee Dr. Whimsy's taking home today? It's going to be the organic from Kroger, and hopefully I'll enjoy it. Being a broke aristocrat, I do prefer when I can afford to buy the organic milk. It could be psychological. There may be absolutely no difference between the two milks. I'm willing to consider that. But I got this deal here, $3.99 for half a gallon of the reduced milk fat. So I'm going to go ahead and pick that up as well. All right, this is a pretty good deal I found on coconut sugar, and I think I'm going to pick it up. It's $4.49. Now, Nurse Amanda says that she has seen coconut sugar at Trader Joe's for $3.99. I don't know if that's true. I haven't checked prices recently, but I am starting to run a little low. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up this bag of coconut sugar for those people who like to have something a little sweet, but you're worried about the glycemic index and the empty calories of sugar. You may want to give coconut sugar a shot to put in your coffee or to sweeten things a little bit. It does have a lower glycemic index and a lower glycemic load Overall, it's a better product, particularly if you're transitioning away from sugar. If you want to get off sugar altogether and just have your coffee black or your tea black, that's great. But if you are transitioning and you do like a little sweet, I think this is a great transitional food. It certainly is something that I keep in my home. All right, so that was me at Food for Less, checking out the prices. I do shop there, so it is by my house here in Hollywood. If you want to check it out and you're in the area, it's on Western and Sunset, and I think you can get some good deals there. I like the fact that they have organic, and I love the fact that they have that coconut sugar I like to get. I think I will continue doing these kind of comparison shoppings. I'd like to check out Trader Joe's and Whole Foods and start seeing what the prices are like over there. That about wraps up this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure and share, like, subscribe, you know the drill, and tell me what you're doing to take care of yourself without breaking the bank. This was fun, and I think that I'm going to do more of these types of videos in the future. Take care. Bye-bye.